Joe, Alex had really been struggling prior to that seventh-inning grand slam, hitless in his previous 18 at-bats. Despite the numbers, is there always a certain level of confidence when he steps to the plate?
Yeah, there is. It's the thing that hitters go through, and the thing that, we always try to be careful around here is that we don't get too caught up in it, because all your hitters are going to go through it. And, people talk about changing the lineup, and it just, you got to ride out the good times with the bad times. And huge hit tonight for us. I mean, just absolutely huge, and it's a big reason why we won.
What can a hit like that do for a player as far as moving in the other direction going forward?
Well, I think it gets you going. Sometimes it can get you going again. And, as I've said, even though these guys are great players, when you're going through a tough time, a little success helps. Sometimes they're called personality hits, and they can help a little bit.
Kevin.
Joe, what do you think of just Alex's power that he's shown this year in general? How these aren't cheap home runs.
No, the one thing that he's always had is a fundamental swing, and he uses his lower half extremely well. Alex is a big man. I mean, this is not a little guy. This is a big guy, and he's never been a guy that's just tried to pull. He's willing to use all fields, and when he squares up a ball, it's going to go.
And when you talk about his lower half, that's kind of his issue when he was struggling, right? He wasn't using those legs?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can get away from it. Sometimes it's just, it doesn't feel right. It can be too quick, too slow. I mean, there's a lot of different things that it can be, but his lower half is important.
Who else? Anybody else? Andrew? George?
Joe, there was a time where he was criticized for not coming through in the playoffs, but over the years, he really has had a flair for the dramatic. I mean, is that something you think guys just have, or is it happenstance? What's your take on coming through in those type of moments where the crowd's going crazy and the bases are loaded?
I think it's both. I think some guys have it, and I think some guys develop it, and they understand that I don't need to be any different than the person that I am. Sometimes guys can try to do too much, and that's what you have to guard against as a player. And some guys just naturally are able to relax. I mean, from day one. But for most, it's learning how to hit in those situations.
George.
Joe, do you have an update on Teixeira?
Yeah, George, he's still really sore. You won't see him tomorrow. I mean, you might see him, but you won't see him in a game. So as far as all the tests came back negative today, but he's sore.
And DL is not a possibility at this point?
As of right now, no.
Susan?
What were your observations about CeCe tonight?
I thought he threw a good game. It seemed like the 6th and the 7th inning started to get a little bit harder for him as his pitch count started to mount, but I thought he pitched a really good game.
Do you see a difference between these last three starts and what was early?
I just think that his stuff is crisper, his location is better, and he's just pitched really well.
Meredith?
Joe, how much does the extra rest play into it with CeCe?
If you look at his numbers this year, they're better on an extra day, is the bottom line. Sometimes we can't always afford to do that. We've had to be creative this year, but it can help, especially as you get older and you've amassed a lot of innings.
All the way in the back, Joe.
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Real quick, Didi. I mean, obviously, from the beginning of the season to now, his defense just keeps getting better and better. Tonight, two huge plays,
yes, including
the throw from left field. Can you just talk about that?
Well, we've talked about Didi. Every month he's gotten better, and that's really what you want to see from young players as they get more comfortable. They learn how to relax. He made a play coming in tonight. It's as good as I've seen him make that play, and he's got a great arm. And it's for relays throws, throwing across the diamond. It really plays well.